allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Is there anyone here for public input? Need your name and your address, please.
Sarah Starling, 156 7th Avenue North. And I'm on behalf of my 7-year-old Gideon. He is requesting monkey bars at River Edge Park, as well as fixing the seesaw and the spinny thing. And that's it.
Oh,
Okay. Are they in bad shape, I assume?
Yes, those are broken.
Oh, okay. All right,
They're not fixed?
okay.
As of Sunday, they weren't fixed.
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Get that checked out. Is there anybody else here? Nobody here? Okay, thanks. Oh, I'm sorry.
Really? I'm here. Doesn't that count? Gary Zimmerman, 224 Waite Park. I'm here on behalf, I was out in Waite Park and I took some pictures that I want to bring to your attention to the council people.
Right.
Hold on.
All right, this picture, when you did last year, you painted all the fire hydrant, but this one isn't over, you know where Friends Bar is? And over on this side of the building, you missed that one last year. Everyone in Waite, every other fire hydrant got painted. So if you could paint that, it would look a lot better.
All right, Bill, take that, he'll write that down.
I will give you these pictures. All right, I brought this to your attention last year. As you, over by Marketplace where the bus picks up, there is a, right there. Again, I almost took a fall over that. There's a gap, even as you, right there, as you go towards the Metro bus sign, there is a thing, and so it looks like it needs a repair on that. You know, it might. What I'm looking at for why people that have the wheelchair, you know, they might have a struggle with that. All right, here's the next one. All right. Now, over by my apartment on 3rd Street South, as you can see there, that it does need a paint job over where I live. That would be for Bill. What do you think? Are you planning to paint them at all over by 3rd Street South?
You talking the post?
Yeah, the post.
Yeah, okay.
And then also, I noticed in my neighborhood, they have the new logo. How come in the other parts of the world of Waite Park, they don't have the W?
We're just replacing them as we go.
Is that going to be the new branding for the city of Waite Park?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Now, when you did the repairing of the road last year, I see that you have the crosswalk going towards Waite Park Crossing, but there is no stripes down where, again, where I live in Waite Park there is no stripes, you know what I'm talking about, Mayor or Bill? On the road there. When you did it towards the end of the season last year, you forgot to stripe. Because I've seen cars already as I'm going to the bus, cars getting pretty close to that. So that was my,
Well, this is the main roadway. I take this road probably 2-3 times away. The crosswalk is properly placed at the crossing where it's supposed to be. We have a lighted crosswalk there if people choose to use the crosswalk. What happens in this area, it seems to be open. I don't see us putting a crosswalk in the middle of a road.
no, I'm not,
No, he's talking a fog line, I think. You're talking a.
no, I'm talking
Oh, the
about
fog
when you're
line.
going towards Park
Okay.
Meadow, they have a division of the yellow lines is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're talking a.
Yeah,
You're
because you did
talking
the,
it striped.
yeah, you did, it was going towards the end of the season and.
Middle of the road.
Yeah.
I don't think that was ever fogged. If I
Right.
remember right.
Yeah.
it was never striped before. We don't stripe every road in town with center lines and fog lines.
I thought before you ripped up the road, I thought it had stripes. No?
Nope.
Okay, and my other words of wisdom, you know now that the amphitheater is going to be going on, Shauna, have you thought about putting on 181 where people can get the tickets, how much it costs, and the opening act? Because when the amphitheater began, you did that on 181 government access.
We can certainly add that, Gary. All of that stuff just could be directed to the website. Sure.
Yeah,
I'll
because.
talk to Margie about that.
Yeah, because some people that I know that don't have a website at
Yeah.
all.
So you would have to, then we could give you the hours of the box office where they could go and have that and the phone number to contact for that. And then the website where they could go and directly link that, but then that would give at least a phone number to those that don't have the website.
Or how about putting it out onto the air too, the telephone number?
Yep,
Because
the phone number could be on there as well for them to call if they want to order tickets that way. They'd probably have to go down to the box office, which the box office does hold regular office hours in the summertime. So yep, we can make sure that those hours are on there and give the phone number.
and when does the actual music begin for the new season of the 2024 season?
So we've already had some concerts down there already. We've had 2 shows. And so they're kind of scattered throughout the season. There's a total of 16 national acts, and then there's 2 other events, one being our Oktoberfest, and then another one that's a local, I can't remember the name of the, Celebrate Minnesota that's
Celebrate
putting on.
Minnesota.
So yeah, there's a total of 18 acts out there total, and that's all listed on that website that way.
Also, it has begun because, as I said, I live in my apartment.
And you
I
didn't
ca-
hear it?
No, I didn't. Usually I can hear.
Oh,
hear
I'm
the mu-
happy to hear that you didn't
The
hear
only
it,
one
but
that did.
maybe you're kind of bummed you
But no, I
didn't hear
think, I think it's a great avenue for that,
it.
so
Yeah,
I'm
I appreciate you bringing that to our attention, Gary.
So, on that note, thank you very much for your time. And these pictures were taken by me, Gary Zimmerman. So there you go, folks, out there in TV land. I appreciate your time and your concerns. Continue on, please.
All right, thanks, thanks, Gary. Thank you. Is there anyone else here for public input? Anyone else for public input? Anyone else? All right, review and approve council agenda.
Move to approve as presented.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed unanimously. Consent agenda items. Item A, approve 5/20/24 council meeting minutes. Item B, approve 5/20/24 council meeting minutes. How come those are the same days? Oh,
6/3/2024 and 5/20.
Little
Oh,
typo.
is it off on the agenda?
yeah, okay,
yeah.
6/3,
If-
okay,
It's on, if you look on the sheet
Yep.
or the TV in front of you, yeah.
all right.
I just listed twice.
Item C, approve 2024 street improvements, change order number 1. Item D, approve supplemental letter agreement and authorization advertisement for bids. Item E, approve resolution supporting Wake Park's participation in the performance measurement program. And item F, approve massage enterprise license, Divine Massage LLC.
I'd like to have E pulled.
E is in echo. Somebody else?
I will move to approve A, B, C, D, and F.
I'll second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed unanimously. Mike, we go through
The reason
this.
I'd like to have E pulled is I'd like to go over it a little bit. Can you explain exactly how this is working and is it benefiting us all that much?
Yeah.
I'm
We
not-
actually have to pass very specific measures that the state establishes for us. And by passing those and evaluating them, so we create a survey based off of those performance measures that are in the resolution that are attached. And I can, let me bring the attached resolution up here. So there's these specific measures that they want us to do. So we ask our residents in a survey about these things. We send the results of that survey in along with this resolution, and a result of doing that, I want to say it's about $15,000 that we get back from the state annually for that. And then what it's entitled us to is that if the state determines somewhere down in the future that they want to put levy limits on, it's supposed to be able to provide us with the opportunity of not having to be, that we could become exempt from that. Now, they can always change those rules, but that's what the performance measurement tool does. Then what we have to do is, we just have to publish the results of our survey after it's completed by the end of the year. So there's just really specific kinds of things that they're requiring us to do, and these are the examples of some of those things. Did you have something specific that?
I guess my question would be is, we're getting 15 or 16,000. How much time is spent on
Not very much at all.
the sending out the surveys?
The Survey Monkey is something that we've been able to use every year, so it's just, probably takes me, in total, I probably have 30 minutes
So we're not
invested in this
individually
all.
Sending a survey to each person?
Nope, nope, we just have to, we do it on the website and then send the links out on our social media. So Margie has it out right now, and we're accepting them till the end of June. And then once those get completed, then I take them off of SurveyMonkey and I print the report and I send it to the state along with the resolution that Rick and Adri sign, and actually just send it actually in an email, so I don't even need to send it in postage. So it's not a lot of work involved in it, to be quite honest with you, because we've already put the survey together on SurveyMonkey, so we continue to do that. And it does give us an opportunity also to, to hear from that. We don't get a lot of responses from people on that, but at least we are, looking and asking some questions about some of this stuff.
I can't remember ever seeing it before, that's why.
Yeah, no, it
That
gets,
question, I wish we could get it so we could see.
you sure can. We can make sure you get a copy of it.
Make sure
things
Mike
like this
gets a
would
copy.
work better. Actually, the best benefit is, quote unquote, if levy limits are ever set again,
Yeah.
Be exempt from
Yeah.
that.
we might
It-
be exempt.
If it involved a whole lot of time, then I would probably come to you and ask if this is something that you'd worthwhile, but it's really not a lot of our time involved and invested in putting it together. And if it gives us a little bit of money back and some assurances of some sort that levy limits aren't gonna be something to think about, then so be it. But
Remember the last time that happened?
it hasn't been for a while. Hopefully we don't wait.
How many years? 10,
Yeah,
15
hopefully we
years?
don't ruin our jinx ourselves with that.
All right, what do you want to do with the
I'll move second.
further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, passed unanimously. Regular agenda, item A, request establishing an economic development authority and appointment of commissioners for initial term. John?
Mayor Miller, council members, this is on the tail of several of our previous work session discussions. The city and staff and council members have established or previously guided restarting or starting a new active economic development authority as a strategic priority for the city to help supplement and benefit overall development efforts, growth in city development, even getting into the residential realm. This resolution before you tonight would formally do two things. It would, number one, authorize disbanding and dissolving of the previous Economic Development Authority that was in place but dormant for some time. And then it would create and implement a newly active Economic Development Authority and set yourselves as the active commissioners for this time. It basically outlines all the powers as per state statute, so it's pretty basic in referencing that. We don't have to call out a specific levy amount to levy funding for it. It's just maximum per state statute, even though we've identified that for the 2025, the goal would be to go to 1/2 or 50% of the maximum allowed per state statute, and then see where that goes for the year, and then step back and reevaluate, and if you want to make any changes. But the resolution, it doesn't need to be specifically called out in there. It authorizes the city to do that. As far as the appointment of yourselves as city council members to the Economic Development Commission role, as we discussed previously, I don't want, my preference would not to have that be forever. I think it's a good play to get started until the EDA would get more active over the course of several years. I would recommend that it would ultimately, transition to a role that, similar to the planning commission or a park board where there's advisory, and city council would have membership on there too. But for the time being, we have to start somewhere. And because it won't be necessarily meeting all the time for a while, it's hard to make that ask of someone to just come and sit for, 90 seconds or 2 minutes a few times a year. So I think that's a good fit. The way that the state requires it, we did publish public notice for 2 consecutive weeks for this. I haven't had any comments. And then the way that the resolution and the statutes require, you have to set yourselves for staggering terms, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Even though functionally they basically coincide with your city council terms. So it's a little bit of double dipping there, but that's the way it has to be by state requirements. So with that being said, I did incorporate some pretty basic bylaws for the operations. Worked off a template that seems to function pretty well. Not totally unlike the way our other boards or commissions are made up and function. So I'll leave it to you. I'd recommend approval and adoption of those resolutions, but if you have any questions, you're welcome to.
We have to do
Question.
those individually?
Well, we have to do the adoption of the resolution first.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
When I was reading over the information you mentioned about staff requesting funds or something potentially to jump fund
Yeah,
the EDA,
yep.
none of them funding streams require a payment in return, do they? I mean, would be grants or something like that.
It would be,
What I'm saying is I don't want to put it into debt, saying, okay, now that,
yeah, any
Someone
of
gave
those
it.
things would require a separate authorization and a separate authorization action. If, I just wanted to cover that would be something I'm certainly looking to pursue.
Okay.
And it's just kind of all
so it
encompassing.
has to
I
be
never
brought
know
back
what
to
may
the
come up.
PDA board to be approved.
Absolutely.
No matter what.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we're not, this doesn't give me any sort of blanket authority to just go put us in debt. No, that's something that would have to come for review. I just wanted to reference it because that's something I would like to look for if that ever became an option. Not saying that it's out there right now, but sometimes those sorts of things come available.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
I'll move to approve the adoption resolution establishing Waite Park EDA adopting bylaws, appointing initial commissioners with following comments.
No
I'll
additional
second.
comments.
Well, there are no additions other than what was.
Further
spoken.
discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed unanimously. Now we should appoint
Chair?
the 5 commissioners. The first one is a 2-year term, a 3-year term, a 4-year term, and a 5-year term, and a 6-year term. So we should be able to do them all at once if we can agree to who gets which terms.
Yeah, I left them blank
Well, they just gotta
specifically.
follow to our terms as council or mayor.
Well, it won't, because
Do you have to have a separate motion on that, John?
I thought the way it was worded,
Thought
it was
you
just
have it
all
all
wrapped
included.
into one
Yeah,
motion.
it could be all wrapped into one.
You need to just make sure that we call out the 2 separate resolutions. So there's a resolution that's appointing the initial Economic Development Authority commissioners. And that's resolution 6/17/24. It'd be
whatever.
2. And then the other one would be, the commissioner of the EDA, a resolution appointing initial Economic Development Authority commissioners, all in the city of Waite Park, as he mentioned, which would be all of you within the terms that you have, which would be resolution 6/17/24-3. So I would suggest making just either
Another
amending.
motion?
You could just make that as a separate motion, or should we have them amend that and include those 2 resolutions?
When I read through it, it seemed like it was all
It, that
one.
seems, it is, but we just
It is,
need to
but
make
it
sure
is.
that we're
Well-
specifying those 2 resolutions,
But if we
that's all.
just made a motion
Adopt
to
'em.
approve the resolution
Yep.
061724, dash, I suppose it would be two.
We basically
2 and
did-
then 3.
We
Just
basically
reread the
did,
motion with the resolution numbers in it, and that will suffice.
yeah, that should do it.
You know, looking at,
I
I
don't
kind
see
of
it,
looked at
Shauna.
this,
Hold on, I'm sorry. I was,
Resolution
I'm relying on
061,
you.
061724, 2 and 3.
She'll pull it up,
there you go.
the motion.
There we go. So if you would amend your motion, because you've made a motion.
Isn't that the same?
Yes,
one
just, but I think we want to make sure it
It
is,
says adoption of resolution.
but we want to make sure that the 2 resolutions are covered within that.
It's
because it
it's-
doesn't
says
specify
that
those.
by using the plural.
The adoption of resolutions establishing the EDA, adopting the bylaws.
It does say it.
It is true.
Yeah.
Do we think it covers it? Paul, does that cover it? So, I know. Yep, so the motion is up on the screen. So adopting of the resolutions establishing the Waite Park EDA and the bylaws and appointing the initial commissioners. Those are what are in those 2 resolutions. Do we need to specify within that motion the 2 resolution numbers specifically, or they're referenced in this and they are attached to this? And we've had a council, motion and a second.
well, let's just make it easy. Let's just, I'll make a
Include both
motion.
resolution
I'll
numbers.
make a motion to add to the
To amend it,
previous.
to amend it.
Okay, but Frank would have to
Amend.
amend the ordinance,
Okay,
amend
Frank,
it.
go
And
ahead.
then Ken would have to
Or
agree
we can get
to,
rid of it altogether by voting no.
you could do that. 'Cause
That's
you haven't-
easier. All in
yeah.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No? Yeah, aye, say aye, say aye, say aye. It fails.
Okay.
Make another motion.
All right. I move to approve, and I don't have the resolution numbers
will
in
tell you
front of
what
me.
they are.
Okay, you fill it in then.
All right, you have resolution 6/17/24-2 and 6/17/24-3.
Establishing a Waite Park EDA, adopting bylaws, and appointing initial, yeah.
Commissioners, yep,
There's a second. All in favor?
thank you.
Opposed? Passed unanimously.
Yeah,
Now, do we have to fill in those terms by name?
Now, here, I've
They
got a question.
automatically-
They are
I gotta-
automatically
Hold it
in
here. I got an idea for these
Won't end on
terms.
terms right.
I got an idea
Boy,
for
they
the
can end
terms,
on
and I
terms,
don't know if we can change what he has on here.
That muddles
I
John's work.
think you, well, no, it's very simple. All these terms should be just 2-year terms because you're going as far as 4, 5, 6 years. A lot of us could not be here in those times. So if you went 2-year terms and at the end of the 2-year term, you renew your Board of Commissioners.
Yeah,
Very
I-
simple.
I recognize it doesn't make a lot of sense the way it's set up, but that's the state requires it to be that way, at least for the initial way. Even though they overlap, the terms that are set don't align necessarily with your city council member terms.
Well, you got 3 of us right now that have 5
I know.
months left.
I know. I don't disagree. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but
That's not
that's
his-
the way it has to
that's
be.
not
It's a
his
state
choice.
requirement,
State says it.
discussion is over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
yes.
At this
You don't get
point,
to stay on the EDA if you're not on the
at this point,
council.
you're only on the EDA when you're on the council.
If you're a council member.
Yep, that's spelled out in the bylaws.
So we don't need to address the
It's-
different terms.
It's unnecessarily complicated,
Yeah.
but we don't have a way around it.
It's a good way to put it, unnecessarily complicated. That's a good word.
I was just trying to make it easy.
And yeah, I know.
Then fill them by the mayor as the number 1 with the 2-year term, 2, 3, 4, and 5 alphabetically.
Okay,
How's that? That's
That'll work just fine.
that's as simple as it gets.
Thank you.
All in favor?
All right.
Do we need a motion for
Figured
that? No, I didn't think so. All right,
got it.
approved bills.
Move to pay the bills.
Second?
Further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed unanimously. I don't have anything else. Shawna?
Just the League of Minnesota Cities Conference will be next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We also are not planning on having a council meeting on July 1st. So after tonight, our next council meeting will be July 15th.
All right.
And if anybody needs a ride, get a hold of me. Plan about 8:30 Wednesday morning.
Dave? Bill? John?
No, sir.
Chief?
Nothing.
Chief? Adri? No? Paul?
No.
I do. I want to thank everybody who participated or helped in the Family Fun Fest events. It was great. I think it went very smoothly, and I appreciate everybody's volunteerism. So thanks
It was a
again.
good night.
Yeah, I think it went very well. Good crowds. So.
Yes.
All right, we are adjourned at 6:55.